Today from Miami, Florida, the Rockies continue their series against the Marlins. It's game 3 of a 4-game set. The Rockies have lost the first 2 by a combined score of 11-1. Looking to get the offense going this afternoon at Marlins Park. A late afternoon start. Look at this couple with their youngster enjoying the ball game. Everybody's happy. Everybody has a meal. It's Bark in the Park day at Marlins.
Classic.
I love that dog was just sitting there between mom and dad on the chair.
And had jersey on.
Yeah. Marlins fan. DJ LeMahieu's going to lead things off. You can say, whoa, what's going on? Charlie Blackmon always leads off. Charlie Blackmon running around like crazy. He's going to get a day off today. So here's the Southwest batting order for Walt Weiss. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Corey Dickerson will slide into that 2 spot. Then Tulowitzki, Cargo homered last night to provide the Rockies with their only run. Nolan Arenado, Ben Paulson, Michael McHenry will do the catching this afternoon. Brandon Barnes will be in center field for Blackmon. He'll bat 8th, and then David Hale. Matt Latos comes off the disabled list. He had a bad knee, and his first pitch of the ball game is just off the outside corner. Matt Latos, the Rockies know fairly well. 3 years in San Diego, the last 3 years in Cincinnati. He's got a big-time arm. He's a big, strong guy, 6'6", and got 245 pounds on the mound.
And the 9 career starts against Colorado, 5-2 with the 379. They remember his days in San Diego and then the last year in Cincinnati. But prior to going on the DL, he was not very good. In 2 starts, 11 earned runs, 15 hits in just 8 1/3 innings.
And what's surprising, in this pitcher's paradise, he has an ERA over 10 this year.
Yeah, 0-2 and 5 starts at home. He'll still rush the fastball up there, 92 to 94 miles an hour, has a big curveball, and it reminds me somewhat of Rick Sutcliffe, the way he drops the ball and stabs behind his back with the baseball before delivering it.
And he reached back on 95 there. And he strikes out DJ LeMahieu to begin. Here are the gloves for the Marlins. They virtually have the same lineup as last night. Yelich, Osuna, and Stanton in the outfield. It's Prado, Echeverria, Gordon, and Bohr in the infield. The only change is Jeff Mathis is doing the catching this afternoon. That defense, #1 in baseball in fewest errors, best fielding percentage.
Just 24 errors and a .990 fielding percentage. And they have range. It's not like they're just stationary. They can go find the baseball.
A bunch of swings and misses early, so Latos has some late life on that fastball, and he gets good downhill plane at 6'6".
That's the key, because early on he wasn't able to push off that land leg because it was his left knee, so he was leaving everything up.
One of the things they always point out, and I remember when he was in San Diego, this was discussed. For such a big guy, he has a really short stride.
Instead of getting that length out so you can lengthen your arm from the backside, he creates it by stabbing, as I mentioned, and then coming back over the top,
which would mean he's going to get even steeper angle to the plate. Not only the 6'6" frame, but because he's going to stay a little taller with the short stride. 2 balls and a strike on Corey. 3rd game back for Dickerson. He has swung it well since his return from the DL.
It's just good to see Corey not having to take a day off. And with a little bit earlier start time today, you think, well, if that foot was bothering him at all, that he would have to sit out today and then come back tomorrow, but not so. And to have his bat in the lineup is huge.
Well, he's 3 for 7 since coming back with a pair of doubles. And that was a nasty curveball. For 2 strikeouts to begin for Latos.
Well, Walt was talking about Latos in his pregame press conference and talking about his off-speed pitch, mainly his curveball. it said we're going to try to hunt the fastball because you don't want to get to that pitch. And they haven't been able to reach it. Then he goes and throws it and gets a strikeout of Corey.
So here's Troy. He's riding an 11-game hitting streak, which is second longest in the game to the guy playing center field for the Marlins, Marcell Ozuna. It's a high fly ball down the right field line. Stanton near the stands bails out. Did he make the catch?
Yes, he did.
Wow. That was a tremendous play by Stanton to end the first frame.
That's a great play.
You know, that wall was terrified that he was going to run into it. The first inning. Gordon leading the National League in hitting at .355, actually leading all of baseball in hitting at .355. Top 3 hitters in baseball all reside in the National League. Paul Goldschmidt is second, D. Gordon first, as I mentioned, and then DJ LeMahieu. Martin Prado hit a home run last night. He'll bat second, then Yelich and Stanton. Marcell Ozuna, not only a 13-game hitting streak, he has a 13-game hitting streak in his career against the Rockies, hitting .431 all time against Colorado pitching. Justin Bour, Jeff Mathis will bat seventh, Adeiny Hechavarria, and Matt Latos. So David Hale, the former Atlanta Brave, a native of Marietta, Georgia, and a product of Princeton. Spent 3 years on the Tigers pitching staff.
First start out on the road for David this year. The other 3 come back at Coors Field. And we mentioned his home runs. He's given up 5 home runs, but 4 of them have been solo shots, and the other one was a 2-run home run.
He doesn't put people on base, as we discussed a few minutes ago. And that's a line drive to left. Dickerson will grab it on a hop and speed aboard in D. Gordon. And both of those fastballs were up in the strike zone. Here's the Rockies defensive alignment. Barnes again in center field for Blackman. Dickerson at left, Cargo in right. Arenado, Tulowitzki left side, LeMahieu, Ben Paulson on the right side. Michael McHenry's doing the catching.
You have D. Gordon at first. He stole a base last night.
21 stolen bases for D.
Came in the 7th inning. Look for him to run early in this game.
And this is a hit and run combination because of Prado's ability to go to the right side. David Hale, Dave's in Atlanta, has faced the Marlins. The lineup today was 3 for 21 coming in against him. And Adeiny Hechavarria had all 3 hits. The rest of the lineup was 0 for 16 until Gordon's single right there.
He had 5 relief appearances against the Marlins last year. And 7 strikeouts. in the 9 innings pitched.
You better throw a first pitch strike. I know David Hale's thinking that. I mean, he's a bright guy because Prado's not going to swing. Prado is going to be patient and allow Gordon, if he wanted to take off there, to run. It would have been highly surprising had he swung the bat there on the first delivery.
He's an old school number 2 hitter in the National League. And I say old school because he'll take a pitch, he'll let the guy try to steal the bag, he'll hit the ball the other way. If it comes to 2 strikes, that's okay. He's made a lengthy career out of hitting in this spot in the lineup.
Rockies pitch out. It's 1-1. Prado is sporting a 16-game hitting streak against the Rockies, a .422 average. And until very late, it was a 2-1 ball game after Cargo hit the home run. The difference in the game when it was 2-1 was the home run by Prado that originally gave the Marlins a 2-0 lead. There goes Gordon, and the throw's not going to get it. Stolen base number 22 for D. Gordon.
He's second in the National League behind Billy Hamilton. Always a good time to take off after a pitch out because you don't feel like they're going to go back-to-back pitch outs. D. Gordon wasn't worried about it. Goes hard into second base. Catches the bag again. Last night he had to do the same thing.
There's so many fast tracks, Huey, that you see more and more guys slide and fly up over the base and have to hang on.
Just the way the dirt is now. It doesn't have as much sand in it that it used to have. So guys just continue to fly.
Sliders fouled off. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Prado.
And this is a pretty fast infield here in Miami. The grass is very short, and then the dirt is real hard and compact.
Hale has demonstrated as a starter the ability to get some strikeouts.
He's got some to right-handed hitters with the big curveball.
Two and 2 on Prado. He went with the fastball and it's low. Martin Prado lives in the Orlando area in the offseason, not all that far from Cargo. A lot of big leaguers live in the Orlando area in the offseason. Martin, a native of Venezuela, worked out with Cargo quite a bit in the offseason, lifting and hitting together. Here's the 3-2, and that's low. Ball 4. First walk for David Hale in 19 2/3 innings. You've got 19 2/3 without a walk, which is one of the longest stretches in Rockies history.
It's the 4th longest in Rockies history.
Aaron Cook has the longest. He went 21 innings back in 07 without a walk. There you go. Mark Brownson, who briefly pitched for the Rockies, of course, had the unbelievable debut with that complete game shutout of the Houston Astros down in Houston with his folks looking on. 2 on for Yelich, nobody out, and a first pitch strike. Yelich, a tough man to double because he's a long strider. He runs pretty well.
That's where you hope he hits it hard on the ground, as I mentioned, the fast infield, make the turn I would look to maybe try to pick D. Gordon at second base. He's really jumping off out there.
You're on it. Put that shortstop hat on. I guess it never leaves you.
It doesn't, because you just have that feeling in your bones that that guy's going. After so many games out there, a guy will be dancing around. And you try to play it nonchalant as a shortstop. You don't want to give it away, so Troy's just kind of hanging back. Then you get up right into his hip pocket.
Yelich hits it hard. Great play by Tulowitzki for one. That's all they'll get. DJ didn't even look to first. He wanted to keep his eyes on D. Gordon. Great play by Troy to not only keep that in the infield, but to get an out. So it's first and third, one out.
Just notice where Troy starts on it. Very, very close to the bag. And then you have the runner that's going to go in between you and the ball, and you have to pick it up. Troy wisely makes this strong throw, and then DJ doesn't even think about going to first. He was hoping that D. Gordon would be rounding third hard, thinking he was going to score, and then you could back throw it to third.
So here's Stanton. And the slider missed the outside corner. Stanton drove in 4 on Thursday night. 3-run home run in the first inning, and then he had an infield single, a squib single that drove in a run. Off the top of the wall. This is going to score 2 runs. Stanton will stop at second.
Just shows you how big this ballpark plays. Off the bat, it looked like it was going to be a home run. Did a 12th double this season for Stanton. Now he thought he got it. I mean, he's standing there thinking he had it. Corey reaches back, goes just shy of the wall, or excuse me, the top of the wall, and it goes off Corey's wrist, it appeared.
I'll tell you what's impossible. Say after this pitch, Marcell Ozuna at the plate. It's impossible to see the flight of the baseball during the afternoon because of those windows and the view of the city. It's very pretty in the background, but once the ball leaves the roof line and drops into that, I don't know, it's probably 40 feet high, right? Those windows there, you can't see it from a fan's perspective or our perspective. Arenado going to hold the runner, and now Paulson won't have a play going across as Stanton moves up to third. 2 outs.
But you're right, Drew. You're looking at it. The ball is up in the ceiling. Everything's good. Corey's trying to find the wall. Looks and then leaps. No, it went off his wrist after it hit the wall. And then kicked away. Brandon Barnes hustling after it.
Justin Bour with 2 outs, 2 runs in for the Marlins. 57 RBIs now for Stanton. That leads Major League Baseball.
And all 3 games down here in Miami, the Rockies have been trying to play catch up. Marlins have scored first each game.
It's hard to do that in the big leagues.
Big power hitter, Justin.
You got to go right on right with Mathis.
Mathis is just coming off the DL a week or so ago. He had broken his hand. Not many at bats, just 13 at bats on the season. for 13 for Mathis.
Yep, he just came back in the Rockies series in Denver from being on the shelf all year. He got hit on his throwing hand while catching a foul tip, and it broke a bone.
It was back on April 12th, the game against Tampa Bay.
And you mentioned scoring first and the importance of scoring first. The Rockies, when they score first this year, are 19-6. When the opposition scores first, 8-27.
Just limits what Walt can do as a manager. The hit and runs. I know it's only 2 runs, but it just changes the complexion. That's why you need to get out of this inning without giving up any more.
Two balls and a strike. 21 pitches in. Even that's unusual. David Hale had been averaging about 14 pitches an inning. This is bounced up the middle. DJ's right there. He's going to catch it and step on the bag to end the inning. Stanton comes through again for the Marlins. Nearly hit the ball out. A 2-run double.
And the Marlins have the early lead as we go to the second inning. It's Venezuelan day here at the park. Another big hitter, Andres Galarraga. Yes, the big cat throwing out the first pitch. The guy that hit 399 home runs. I know Jenny back in Denver, it's her favorite Rocky of all time. And a big day for the big cat on the mound. And the big cat, of course, was around the Rockies for BP. And I asked him if he talks baseball to one Carlos Gonzalez.
Oh, yeah, always. I'm trying to put on a little, not typical, it's one of the best swings anybody can have. But, you know, try to push him mentally to keep him going.
So, Drew and Jeff, I would think that Cargo, who's at the plate, would be a little motivated for today's game.
I think he's, I agree with you, but he's always motivated. He loves to play. And I think for a lot of Latin players that make their homes here in the off season, a lot of these young guys have family members that are in town or live down here. It's extra special to play down in Miami.
It is. A lot of friends and family, and that always encourages you, gives you a little extra bounce in your step when you're coming to the ballpark. But Big Cat, I played with him 2 years in Montreal, and what a wonderful, wonderful ball player, but a better human being. And it was so much fun to see Andres today.
The 1-1 is popped up, foul, and out of play.
Still looks good.
He looks great. He plays a ton of golf now. He lives in the same neighborhood as Larry Walker. They'll play together occasionally. And that's a great shot of the Big Cat, who is so nimble. That's how he got that nickname. but every time I see him, you are reminded how big and strong he is, how wide the back is. He's a big man. That was held by Mathis, strike 3. So 3 of the first 4, Matt Latos has struck out. And of course, this from our longtime graphics coordinator, Susan Strand. Big Cat at Marlins Park on Dog Day. Bark
Just
in the
had
park
to bark
day.
in the park.
She couldn't resist.
She couldn't. She always comes up with some catchy phrases.
At least annually. Love it. She can't respond.
Perfect.
Here's Arenado. Well, this doesn't look good early because there have been a multitude already of swings and misses against Latos. They're not picking him up.
And you didn't know what he was going to be like today. How is he going to come out and throw? Just because he hadn't been on a big league mound in a while, and before that he wasn't very good.
Latos, born in Virginia, went to high school north of here in Florida. 2 strikes. Tell you what, Nolan did a good job to get that curveball. Arenado hitless in the series so far. In fact, he's just 1 for 16 against the Marlins this year. But in his career, he's 3 for 3 against Latos.
Matt was a 11th round pick in 2006 by San Diego.
And that ball is ripped to left, a base hit. So Nolan remains perfect against Latos, 4 for 4. That'll bring up Ben Paulson. Paulson late last night had an impressive at bat against Carter Capps. Pulled the baseball against Capps for a double in the 8th inning. And that at that point in time was the tying run. Descalso ran for him. Unfortunately, the Rockies couldn't do anything after that double. Two nothing Marlins. That's a strike. Rockies fans, join in on the conversation. Send us your thoughts and photos. Use Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. You also have to use the hashtag Toyota Talk. Two strikes on Paulson.
That slider he hit last night for the double, he had to go down, change a little bit of the body angle to get to that ball. Capps is hard with that leap towards home or dragging of the foot, however you want to describe it. It's the timing stuff, but that ball, that slider was down, he just hooked it in the corner.
In the air to Yelich in left. And that's the second out. I'll bring up a good fastball hitter in Mike McHenry. Talking to an old friend of ours, former teammate of yours, Todd Green, built very similarly to Mike McHenry. He's now a longtime scout. And Todd was talking about McHenry. He said, I like his offensive game a lot.
2 for 6 in his career against Latos with a big fly. Greeny's with the Arizona Diamondbacks, been with them for 5 years in their front office. Still lives up in the Atlanta area.
(2-0). McHenry hitting .323 over his last 11 ball games. It's his 16th start of the year. He's hitting 10 of his 15 prior starts. We've talked about it. That combination of McHenry and Hundley has been very productive.
Well, between them, they have 8 home runs,
21 ribs. Excuse me, 31 ribs. They complement each other nicely. They have a close relationship, work well with the staff.
And they're well respected by their teammates.
Absolutely. Getting Mac back in a Rockies uniform was turned out to be a really good move by the organization, and picking up Nick Hundley. And again, it's not one of those ones that's going to draw national headlines, but that was a terrific move by Jeff Bridich and the organization, getting Nick Hundley.
So, a savvy catcher. I think that's the best way to describe it. And he learned some things when he got traded over to Baltimore. You see a different league. It always helps you as a player.
That's called a strike. Well, he's a very bright guy, and he's a gamer. And that can be said for McHenry as well.
Right, but both of these guys understand what their role is, and first and foremost it's the pitching, and then with the offense is secondary. Not all catchers are that way.
Arenado running, and that is ball 4. So the 3-2 pitch misses from Latos, and the Rockies have a couple aboard here with 2 outs. And Brandon Barnes, Mr. High Energy, will take his first look at Latos.
Feeling better today after that hard slide he had back home, going into second base.
Kind of twisted his knee.
Yeah, it looked to be more of his ankle, the way he rolled up onto it, but he said it was his knee. Looking good today, bouncing around, watching him take fly balls in the outfield. Didn't see any change in his gait when he was running, where he was favoring that way. We'll go back to this slide where he's trying to beat the throw into second base to get a base hit for Kyle Parker, and he did, but he went so hard into the bag with so much force that's what caused the knee injury.
Well, when Barnes starts for Walt Weiss, the Rockies are 11-6. Here's the 0-1. Outside, 1-1.
The Rockies need to change this up. In the last 3 games, they're 0 for 13 with runners in scoring position.
Latos, last thing he wants to do is load the bases. However, he realizes where he is in the lineup. Barnes hitting 8th, the pitcher on deck.
And that's why you've seen 2 of the slider slurs from Latos.
And that's off the plate, 3-1.
Staying away from the power of Brandon. Everything has been on the outer third.
These situations, you hit 8th fair amount. Would you creep up on the plate a little bit, knowing they're going to go away?
Try to. It's hard to get out of your comfort zone. You know, it's easy to say, oh, you just move up on the plate, but it's so hard to do that because you have your toe hold, and this is where you've always stood. You feel comfortable, and you see the ball out of the hands, and your mind recognizes it's a ball or a strike. But if you change, does that change your sight lines?
All the subtle things that go through a hitter's mind. 3-2. Again, the Rockies will get the benefit of a 3-2 pitch, so both Arenado and McHenry will be in motion. Outfield is straight up for Barnes.
Coupled with the fact that Latos throws harder, he can rush it up to 95. That's another reason why you wouldn't really want to creep up. If he was a soft thrower and 86, 88.
No, I mean closer to the plate.
But even then, I'm saying because he's 95, it's harder to do.
This is slowly hit to third. Barnes can run. Prado will not throw it. So the bases are loaded on an infield hit for Barnes. And David Hale will come up. Now, what happened? Because Dan Jennings is coming out. Does he think it hit his foot? Paul Schreiber's the home plate umpire.
I think that's what they're asking. Was it a foul tip? Did it hit the bat twice? Or hit Barnesy in the foot? Take a look.
Well, it didn't hit his foot.
No, but did it hit the bat twice? Right there. And then again on the follow through.
If it's hard to tell there. If
they did call it a foul ball.
Then it's a foul ball.
So right there, and then two.
Yeah, it did hit it. Yep.
It's a foul ball.
That happened in a game the other day.
But
we were watching.
But they credited him with a base hit. They didn't see it. The umpires didn't see it.
You got to regather your focus here if you're Brandon Barnes, and it's a 3-2 pitch once again from Latos. And this ball left center field, and it'll hold up for Yelich to get over there and make the catch. So the Rockies had a hit and a walk to leave 2 on, middle of inning number 2. The Marlins up 2-0 on a Stanton double. To buy your hometown Toyota stores, let's go places. And by Southwest Airlines, book your low fare now at southwest.com. Quite a bobblehead collection here at Marlins Park. Rivaling Doug Marino's bobblehead collection back in our booth in Denver. Larry Walker. Walker on the right. Two 0 Marlins. They'll have 8, 9, and 1 in their batting order in the bottom of the second. Adeiny Echeverria, Matt Latos, and D. Gordon. David Hale gave up a couple runs on a couple hits in his first walk as a starting pitcher in a Rockies uniform. Echeverria 3 for 5 lifetime against Hale. Fastball just off the plate. Paul Schreiber, we mentioned, is working home plate. Fielding Colbreth, the crew chief, at first. Jim Reynolds at second. Manny Gonzalez at third. Change up for a strike.
All three of these guys that have bumped so far in this series have that loud strike call. Make it easy.
Very similar, huh?
Maybe they try to outdo each other's crew. Well, I've got a louder strike call than you.
It's off the plate. See Hale working the baseball in the glove. You got to do that every pitch.
Smart.
You don't do it every pitch, you give it away, don't you?
Yeah, guys in the dugout are going to be studying David relentlessly. So you just continue to twist it in your glove, because if you don't, and you go in and grab it, maybe your forearm flexes, they'll pick something up with that. Remember, Ryan Dempster kind of always twisting his glove for that reason. There, you just continue to twist it. You know what you're going to throw, so you know what kind of grip you need to get to, but do it the whole time. Here, 5, 6, 7 seconds worth.
It's going to be a tough play for Arenado with the bare hand. He gets it done. Great play by Nolan to get Echeverria.
Might have some of the best defense on display this weekend. Here, only chance for Nolan is to barehand it. It hops up into his hand. And that takes a special kind of talent, because the rule is if it's bouncing, you use your glove, and if it's rolling, you use your bare hand. But he knew he didn't have chance to transfer it from his glove to his bare hand.
And the velocity that he gets on the baseball with a 5-finger grip, this will be a much easier play. He's got Latos cruising up the line, 2 outs. D. Gordon coming up. And we have a tweet from a former Rocky, a former special Rocky, and I know they feel the same down here in South Florida. Rockies versus Marlins. Rockies is where it all started for me. Marlins put me on the map rooting for both teams today. Juan Pierre. Juan just retired, and there's so many great stories about Juan Pierre and his work ethic and his passion for playing. I'll leave you with this one. Todd Helton has called him on numerous occasions his favorite teammate of all time because of how hard he played.
How hard he worked. When was it the year that they almost had to lock him out of the facility just because they didn't want him there that day?
Buddy Bell was the Rockies manager then, and during spring training, as Jeff well knows, having gone through a zillion spring trainings, there's always one day off in spring training. It's a full day off. There's no games. There's not a workout. There's no
a celebration.
Side sessions. Right. Guys don't come to and it's not like anybody is arguing with the manager, hey, let me come in, except Juan Pierre. Juan was notorious, we've told this story many times, he was notorious, for getting to the field hours before anybody else had to be there. It would be dark out. He'd take out, the Rockies had a coach back then, Dallas Williams. He would take Dallas Williams out, and he'd be on the field at the crack of dawn bunting. And he'd spend an hour bunting, working on every conceivable bunt in his package. And Buddy was aware of his work ethic, which was second to none. And he threatened to fine Juan Pierre,
not
if he
show up.
if he showed up on the day off. You say, Juan, you need a day off. I'm making it mandatory. If you show up, I will fine you. That's the only way I can think of to keep you away from here.
That's a great story.
1-2 on D. Gordon. And David Hale's got it. Much better second inning for David. We'll go to the third. Rockies trailing the Marlins 2-0. Game 3 of this 4-game set in South Florida. The Rockies score 7 or more during any game. Go to participating Colorado Taco Bell locations the following day. Do it between 4 and 6 to get your Rockies taco special. The Moss at Taco Bell. With Jeff Hewson and Mark Stout, I'm Drew Goodman. Rockies down 2-0 as we go to the third. David Hale will lead it off against the former Padre and Cincinnati Red, Matt Latos. 3 times in his career, he's won 14 games. 2 years ago, he was the Reds' Pitcher of the Year, according to the local chapter of the Baseball Writers of America Association in Cincinnati.
The last couple years have been derailed by injuries. He chronicled his knee injury this year, had knee surgery last year, some bone chips removed in his elbow. So the innings pitched have gone from over 200 down into the 100s and 45 or 50.
Hale has exactly 1 career hit. It came against the Rockies when he was playing for Atlanta last year. Came against Chris Martin. And that's a 3-pitch see you later. 4 strikeouts for Latos. And that'll bring up DJ LeMahieu. 12th career start in the 1 hole for DJ. His batted balls in play average, listen to this, Jeff, is .410. Usually the league average is around 300.
Right, but that's also why he's 3rd in the National League in hitting.
This is hit to short. Echeverria, who always gets rid of the baseball quickly, throws him out.
That was textbook, the way you bring your hands to your chest and separate and move your feet at the same time.
Corey Dickerson struck out on a curveball in the dirt his first time. On the disabled list with the plantar fascia. Takes a big old hack. Misses, and it's 0-1.
Ryan Zimmerman of the Nationals had to go on the DL because of the same issue. He went on 2 days ago.
Lutzos on the outside corner. He's been filling up the strike zone. It's 0-2. Rockies just 1-4 this season against the Marlins. Lost 8 of their last 12 against Miami. Down here last year, they opened the season playing a 4-game set, and they lost 3. One run in this series. They've hit just 190 in the first 2 games. That one run was a Cargo opposite field home run late in the game yesterday. At the time, it made it 2-1. Gave the Rockies new life.
It kind of shows you how far that Cargo hit that ball. After Stanton, you thought his was going to go out, and he's a right-handed pull hitter into left center field.
There's been some discussion inside the Marlins organization about moving the fences in, and I don't think anybody would argue.
Especially that guy they paid over $300 million to.
Matt Latos has got it going. 5 strikeouts. He works a 1-2-3 third inning. David Hale and the Rockies trailing 2-0. Moment. We go back to 1996. It was May the 11th, and Al Leiter throws the first no-hitter in Marlins history. Beat the Rockies 11-zip. He struggled in the first inning, and after that, he was terrific with that cutter of his. Martin Prado in the third inning. Christian Yelich and Giancarlo Stanton, and the first pitch from David Hale is in there for a strike. You see the location in the Ford strike zone. For Hale in the first inning in particular, the ball was up, and he's not a guy that can pitch up in the strike zone.
They had the pitch up to Deke Gordon. He got the base hit to left field. Stanton's was up. Remember, he was also helped by that gem of a play by Troy at shortstop to get the force out at second.
Sliders low. Changeups inside, 2-2. Good pitch. Went back to the changeup. Gets a strikeout of Prado. Typically not an easy guy to strike out.
Good downward action. Fans looking to come out to a ball game, there's always great Rockies ticket deals available. Bookmark Rockies.com/specials and check back all season long.
Yelich gets a breaking ball for a strike. Christian got off to an atrocious start. That's baseball, though. He was hitting 178 through May 22nd. Since then, 288, covering 19 ball games. And that goes foul.
There were a lot of guys this year that got off to horrible starts.
Well, I think of the big names, Cargo obviously got off to a very poor start. Andrew McCutchen got off to a very poor start.
Chase Utley was a horrible start.
Yep. Yeah, Big Papi. So we were watching inside. Big Papi had a home run off R.A. Dickey earlier today, but
it was just his 8th home run this season.
Changeup in the dirt and away. It's 2-2 on Yelich with Stanton on deck. 2 hits for the Marlins, just 1 hit for the Rockies. A Nolan Arenado single. Ball cuts way inside. 3-2.
It's not quite the command that we've seen from David in his first 3 starts.
Strike 3. So Hale with back-to-back strikeouts, his first 2 of the ball game.
Just watch Michael McKinry receive this baseball. And you don't have to worry about the pitch as much, but see how he hooded it, got on top of that baseball, held it for the home plate umpire Paul Schreiber. That's what bought him that strike. Not to say it wasn't a strike, but it gave the umpire a better view at it.
So this is, if you have to see Stanton, this is the way you want to do it. 2 outs and nobody on. Outside ball 1. Stanton nearly hit his 23rd home run of the year his first time up. He hit a high fly ball off the top of the left center field wall, just out of the reach of Dickerson, who jumped and scored 2 runs. Two and 0 count. Three and 0.
Don't fall asleep. Don't just serve one up thinking he's not going to swing. Well, 3-0.
And a 4-pitch walk to Stanton. Second walk by Hale. That'll bring up Marcell Ozuna. With every challenge call, the Subaru Eyesight Review will determine the outcome. Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru. Ozuna's 13-game hitting streak is the longest right now in baseball. Tulowitzki's second at 11 games. What an at-bat he had last night. Thought he hit a home run. Initially was ruled a home run. He was overturned on review. Then he thought he hit probably a double at least down the left field line. That was fouled by about 2 or 3 inches. And then on a 3-2 pitch, he lined it back up the middle. This is on the ground to third. Nolan will go to DJ, and that ends the inning. So David Hale pitched around Stanton, and he gets Osuna to ground out. So we'll go to the 4th inning. The Rockies trying to figure out Matt Latos down. Never stop improving stat. Well, the tandem of Troy Tulowitzki and Carlos Gonzalez starting to heat up since May 27th. Cargo at 356, Tulo at 426, a combined 8 home runs and 21 RBIs. And the Rockies are a couple games over 500 during that stretch. See if they can click here in the 4th inning against Matt Latos, the 27-year-old. Got to the big leagues pretty quickly.
Came here in a trade for Anthony Bisclafani. Anthony's 12 starts with Cincy's 5-4 with a 3.53 ERA. Right now they're getting the better end of the deal.
Tulo fires at a high fastball. In his career, just 2 for 17 against Latos. Troy has hit better here at Marlins Park than he did at the park in Fort Lauderdale. That was the worst of the breaking balls he's thrown in the game. Troy just swung through it. That didn't have the sharp break we've seen some of his other ones have. He got away with one there.
And belt high.
Slider strikes out Tulowitzki on 3 pitches. That's 6 strikeouts already for Latos. Doesn't look anything like the guy that was struggling early this season with an ERA above 10 here at Marlins Park.
Yeah, he was 0-2 with a 10-18 and 5 starts and a batting average against a 360.
If the legs aren't right, it's hard to perform athletically. Ask Carlos Gonzalez how much he struggled last year when the knee wasn't right, the hand wasn't right. Stayed off that pitch. Cargo struck out swinging his first appearance against Latos.
This kind of goes back into spring training for Latos. So talking to some Marlins people, they were saying that he was limited at times doing drills in spring training.
Cargo got a quality swing off there. hit 300 in his career against Latos, including a couple of home runs.
Now they'll flip it over again. Prado will move out. He stays on the third base side to honor the bunt until it becomes a strike or two, and then he'll flip-flop with Echeverria. One strike after this foul ball, that's when he goes.
That's grabbed by Latos. 2 outs. The only hit for the Rockies is owned by Nolan Arenado. He's 4 for 4 lifetime against Latos. He went down and got a curveball and lined it to left field. 2 outs, nobody on. Latos hit the big leagues in 2009. Since that time, he has struck out 901 hitters. That's 10th among National League starters in that time frame. He averages in his career just under a strikeout per inning pitch. This ball's well hit to left field, going back, looking up, and making the catch is Yelich at the base of the wall to end the inning. We talked to Nolan the other day when Yelich robbed him. That was an easier catch, but those are balls that are out at virtually every park in baseball. Jenny, thank you. First pitch from David Hale, a strike on Justin Bour. I think they spiked the coffee there in studios.
They're having a good time back in the studio.
Nothing wrong with that. Here's the 0-1 to Bour. That's up high. 1-1 on the big first baseman for Miami. He just grabs a piece of lumber and goes on up there.
I think he just knocked down
gloves.
a tree.
Yeah.
That's how he grabs the lumber.
Grab me a big old branch. Let's go hit.
Well, two guys in two series that don't use batting gloves. Matt Carpenter and now Justin Bour.
Out in front of that changeup, and it's 2-2. Bour just 2 for his last 24. Cut fastball, fouled off. 2-2 it remains.
Doug also sent me a note here. A couple guys that don't use batting gloves with Houston. We'll see him. Hank Conger and Evan Gattis. Dougie studies games and he studies players and hitters like nobody's business. He notices little things like that.
A Hank Conger reference, huh?
Try to get that in once a week.
And that 2-2 is bounce foul. David 60 pitches in here in the 4th inning. Just missed. First inning, he had to face 7 hitters. D. Gordon got a hit off him. He walked Prado. Got Yelich on a force out, and then Stanton hit the 2-run double. 3-2, and that's another changeup pulled foul. Ben Paulson flips it into the crowd.
He gave it to Rockies fan. Number 17. Probably he's wearing a Helton jersey.
We've seen a lot of Rockies fans down here in Miami the last couple of days. Always a welcome sight. Here's another 3-2. Got him on a fastball, changed the eye level. Good pitch in there by David Hale. 3rd strikeout for David. Settled in pretty nicely since that first inning.
Father's Day is just around the corner, and the first 10,000 fans through the gates on Sunday, June 21st, will receive a Father's Day baseball cap sponsored by Coca-Cola. Notice how I got that in there, Drew? Father's Day just around the corner. Well, Chrissy's not watching because she's in
Wichita. Is that for Wendy?
Yep.
You don't think she knew? Tulowitzki, can he throw him out? Oh, yeah, no problem. Are you kidding me?
I told you we have some of the best defense in either league going in this series.
We haven't seen Troy pull that one off that far in the hole in a while. And this one's pretty, and he gets Mathis by a clear step.
And then Ben Paulson on the other side going, ho hum, I really don't even have to stretch. So Troy ranges to his left, and then the jump, spin, sidearm throw. Watch Ben. I got it. Okay. Let's throw it around. 2 outs.
Never get tired of watching that.
No, you don't.
Danny Echeverria. He was robbed of a hit on a slow roller by Nolan Arenado back in the 2nd inning. And he reaches for this one and pops it up to shallow center. Going out to LeMahieu. Here comes Barnes. Good inning for David Hale. 1, 2, 3 in the 4th, and all together now here and at home. Let's get the offense going. Rockies trailing 2-0 as we go to the 5th. G's and fun to drive. Ford, go further. By Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. And by CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Well, the Rockies trail 2-0. Good looking ship. Where's it going, you think, Huey?
That one might be going to the Bahamas.
Do that. That's a little day trip.
I've done that before, the day trip.
Dougie just wrote me a note. He said the Jam Cruise. When are you going on that? In the winter? January? Is Lindsay letting you go this year? You have a child at home. You understand that. You're 50-50. We're going to work on Lindsay. We're not going to allow you to go this year.
Well, Elizabeth's first birthday's around the corner on Tuesday.
How about that? Here's Ben Paulson. Swings and misses at a Matt Latos tailing fastball. It's 0-1.
Well, this obviously has to be the best performance of Latos this season.
Of his Marlins career?
Yes, of his Marlins career.
Not a lot to choose from.
No. It's been pretty bad for him, but today
this is
kind of the pitcher that you remember seeing when he was with San Diego.
Yep, this is the guy they went and got from Cincinnati. Paulson has to go in battle mode, down 2 strikes. And that's the other thing about Latos. There haven't been any waste pitches when he's gotten ahead of guys 0-2, and he's been ahead of quite a few guys in this game. And he has pounded the strike zone.
And that just set a season high in strikeouts with 7. The 15 batters faced, 10 first pitch strikes.
Our old friend Preston Wilson, who's working pre and post game on the Marlins side, we all were visiting last couple of days, and he said something today. And boy, Huey, you know this to be true from your lengthy baseball career as Mike McHenry steps in. Because there was the discussion initially about the fact that both of these teams have a very low walk rate, 28th and 29th in baseball in walk percentage. They don't walk. They're very aggressive offensively. And he was saying, listen, with some of these guys, you don't want to go deep. He said, he mentioned like Darren Dreifert when he was playing. He said, listen, they had nasty, nastier, and nastiest. So once nasty was strike 1, nastier was strike 2, and nastiest, the put-away pitch with 2 strikes. He said they could dial up even worse. He goes, your best option was trying to get after that first or second pitch. You don't want to be, 1-1, 1-2 with those guys.
That's why you see early swings, and I'm thinking back to Bartolo Colon. I know he's still doing it for the Mets, but I remember him early in his career. He'd be 92, 93 early, then pump it up to 98. So he didn't want to get to that 2-strike count. I mean, David Cone, he was that way. There's a whole list of guys that you didn't want to fall behind in the count to.
Yeah, the Cone slider. You really want to see that?
Right. I mean, you hope you didn't get it that first pitch when you're guessing fastball, because that would make you look like a fool.
3-1 on McHenry with 1 out. And that misses. Good at bat for Mac. He has walked twice in the game, the only 2 walks that Latos has allowed. So that'll bring up Brandon Barnes. Boy, the way he's going, you honestly hope he fatigues.
His last start, his rehab start, he went 4 1/3 inning. So does he have the legs to go out and pitch 7 or 8? To your point, let's hope that's not.
You would think the number is somewhere around 90.
He's at 61 now. Make it 62 pitches, 44 for strikes. And for Latos in his career, this season, when he's gotten past the 75, 76 pitch mark, the batting average goes up almost 130 points to where he was in the first 76 pitches.
That's a cutter. Saw that late movement on it. And it's 0-2 on Barnes.
That's a pretty big difference. But what it tells you is he starts to lose his legs. The legs start to go, the ball becomes flat, and up.
And that's right there. That's a perfect example of what I was talking about, Huey, a few minutes ago. A lot of guys 0-2, they're going to nibble, they're going to throw a breaking ball in the dirt. I mean, he's gone after guys 0-2 with this fastball.
And then you just look at it because you think he's going to throw something that's not close, or he's going to nibble. Instead, he puts it where he wants it, and you can just go back to the dugout.
Pitch off the plate to David Hale. Hale looked at 3 fastballs his first time up. Eight strikeouts for Matt Latos. Matt Latos, as we mentioned, a Floridian, grew up in the Miami area, north of here. He was at Game 1 in Marlins history, their home opener. He was all of 5 at the time. Strikeout number 9. McHenry left at first. Middle of 5. It's Miami 2 and the Rockies nothing.
Two 2-0. There have been 3 hits in this game. So this is David Hale's first start for the Rockies here at Marlins Park. He actually almost made his debut here. Let me tell you the story. We go back to September 11th, 2013. He gets called up by the Braves. Knew that he wasn't going to pitch, but he was there when this happened in the game. Jose Fernandez hit his 10th home run and pretty much showboated going around, and Brian McCann was not happy, the Braves then catcher. Well, David Hale, guys, was in the clubhouse because he had thrown a bullpen. He was going to start 2 days later. He comes running out with other guys on the DL, and he said, that's really the first time I was on a field as a big leaguer, even though I wasn't in the game, but I came out for the scrum. But he was there for that. And you guys remember, Fernandez hit 10 home runs his rookie year.
Yeah, pretty good baseball player, huh? Matt Latos has hit 3 home runs in his career. Fernandez threw yesterday in a Florida State game up in Jupiter and threw the ball very well. 5 shutout innings. He walked 1, struck out 4. Was 94-98. In fact, they had to tell him to throttle it down a little bit.
Back off.
1-1 on Latos, 1-2.
For the Jupiter Hammerheads.
Did you ever play against the Jupiter Hammerheads?
No, because they didn't have Jupiter. That wasn't a team when I was playing in the Florida State League.
Did you guys have helmets back when you played?
It's just the ones you put inside your caps.
Yeah.
But there was a team down here in Miami when I was playing in the Florida State League. There was a strikeout by David Hale of Matt Lintos.
Here's Jose last night. And listen, I'm okay with how he conducts himself. He plays the game with a great spirit. He loves to play, and he's not afraid to throw a smile on his face. He reminds me of a right-handed version a little bit of Dontrelle Willis. Remember when Dontrelle came up and was dominant? And, he always had a smile on his face, a bounce in his step. I'm good with that. I mean, that's what sports is all about.
Yeah, and I don't think for Fernandez, he's not trying to show anybody out.
It wasn't malicious.
No, it wasn't. And it wasn't all about him. He wasn't, just pointing at me and look at me. Like there have been guys that have done that just rubs you the wrong way.
I'll tell you this, he threw opening day last year, obviously prior to blowing out against the Rockies, and that was as dominant as you will see. It virtually looked unhittable, and it pretty much was. I mean, he's throwing 98, sitting on 97, 98, and then he throws that slider.
And he likes pitching here. 20 starts, he's 12-0 with a 1.09 ERA.
You almost need to repeat those. 12-0, a 109 ERA at Marlins Park.
And 20 ball games.
We always talk about the trade deadline and all the scuttlebutt that will lead up to that in the next month or so. You can't do better if you're the Marlins than getting Jose Fernandez back. You're not going to find Jose Fernandez on the trade market.
And when he comes back, where he's at, there's only about half the season, if that, left. So you don't have to worry about his pitch count and how many innings and trying to shut him down so he doesn't go over a specific number.
D. Gordon gone. David Hale's racking up some strikeouts. That's his 5th, all since the 3rd inning. I'm going to bring up Prado, who he struck out leading off the 3rd.
Right out of the hand from David Hale. Elevate to D. Gordon.
Miami's record's not pretty at 26 and 36, but to your point, the division in the NL East, the Mets begin play today in first at 33 and 29. Washington's game and a half back at 31 and 30. Miami's behind Atlanta, but they're only 7 back. Prado down the right field line. Cargo is going to have to back off as that one hit the sidewalk.
I think if you asked anybody prior to the season, they were ready to just go ahead and cap the Nationals as the champion.
Got to go out and play. Can't win it on paper. Hey, this is a good one. We wanted to mention this, and I'm glad Josh reached out via Twitter on the Toyota Talk line. Rex Brothers' last 6 outings have been terrific. Just 1 hit, no runs, 9 strikeouts. Barnes going back, and actually over his last 10 outings, Rex Brothers has turned it around. An 0.96 ERA, 9 1/3, 15 strikeouts. Still a few too many walks, 6 over that period of time. But Rex is on the right track down in Albuquerque. We'll go to the 6th. Well, the offense came in the bottom half of the first inning. Giancarlo Stanton in the middle of it once again. A two-run double high off the wall in left center field. Of his major league leading 57 RBIs, he has 16 go-ahead ribbies, which leads all of baseball. Nolan Arenado has the only hit for the Rockies, and that came back in the second inning with one out. The only two other base runners, Mike McHenry has walked twice. That's it. Matt Latos, in his return from the disabled list, he was on the DL with a knee injury. He's been lights out. DJ LeMahieu in the top of the order. And a fastball for strike one. DJ has a 7-game hitting streak going. A strikeout and a ground ball to short this afternoon. Hitting .452 during his 7-game hitting streak. I was kidding him earlier, Huey. Check this stat out. On balls that he's hit to the outfield this year, he's hitting .625. And he looked at me, he said, so I should hit it to the outfield. I said, that is the key. Great idea.
That's great coaching. Is that easy? Just say, just do this.
Trying to help out. Hitting 6 1/4 on balls to the outfield.
And then you already talked about his BABIP earlier. 410.
I hope Spilly's paying attention in the studio. I always want to come up with a stat that has Spilly scrambling. Where'd he get that one? This ball hit to the outfield, down the right field line, and they needed to move the line.
Not allowed.
Think he'd get drafted as a tight end?
Yes, and as a powered forward.
Going hockey, he'd be a pretty good defenseman. He could touch either board, standing in the middle of the ice.
I want to see him skate first. I think he could do the other two. I'd have to see him skate backwards.
We can teach him. We'll coach him up.
You and I, sure.
Well, maybe somebody else.
Have somebody that can actually skate.
2-2 on a slider in the dirt. DJ can skate.
Yes, he
Spent
can.
a lot of his time growing up in Wisconsin, Michigan as well. There's a 2-2. And this ball to the outfield. And look at this. The average is going to go up. It's a tweener. DJ is going to end up at second with a double. 8-game hitting streak. Just hit it to the outfield, DJ.
He must have been listening to you and what you were trying to tell him before batting practice. And sure enough, you see the 8-game hitting streak. He's also hitting 7 or 8 out of his last 9 games out on the road. So it's not everything's been at Coors Field. He's done it here.
He's hit close to 330 out on the road.
And they come inside. They're playing him in the off gap, and that's the advantage. If they're playing you that way and they come in and you pull it, allows you to walk into second.
The way Latos has rolled, you forget what David Hale has done since the first inning. The Rockies have 2 hits. The Marlins have just 2 hits. Of course, they have the 2 runs.
Well, David hadn't given up a hit since the first, and so the next 4 he was clean. This is only the 3rd time today that Latos has had to throw out of the stretch.
With that leadoff double by DJ, it's only the 2nd time in this series that the Rockies had the leadoff man on. Foul tip. Dickerson hot at himself. It's 0-2. He thought he had a pitch to hit there. Getting rolled to Confucius in either lately. Success depends upon previous preparation, and without such preparation, there is sure to be failure.
Hashtag routines. Baseball players live by the routine.
This is slapped to short. Echeverria makes the play.
Transition from Confucius to a drink tumbler, and the first 10,000 fans through the gates on Saturday, June 20th will receive a drink tumbler sponsored by King Soopers.
Well, he did that seamlessly.
I was just trying to figure out how to work Confucius into that.
I saw the gears working. They came to a grinding halt. Mine as well. Couldn't help you out. Tulowitzki's 0 for 2. He has an 11-game hitting streak. Rockies down 2-0 with 1 out. DJ, who just doubled, is at second base.
You have the right man in Troy. He's 5 for his last 6 with runners in scoring position.
Ribby leaders. It's May 24th. Couple of Rockies on there. Boy, that's a pitch Troy wants back. Our friend Juan Pierre makes his way to the booth. JP, we have to tell you that we put your tweet on the air today. Your tweet earlier about Rockies and Marlins. And we got the story out about Buddy Bell was going to find you if you showed up on your off day. Wave to all your fans back in the Rocky Mountain region. Where are we? In that
right
guy? There we
there.
go. There you go. Right. We're on center field camera. I'm amazed. You look great. Kid, there it is. Still a rock. You're standing on second base here, right?
It's a tough ballpark to hit home runs.
DJ moves up.
For DJ is 6 stolen base.
Martin Prado's getting up slowly.
Yeah, he never stopped him. He just continued to get that walking lead. And that's the easiest way to steal third base. When they're not holding you and you can walk into your run. And now you're in even easier position for Troy to drive you in, because when the Marlins up by a couple runs, they'll keep their defense back.
Look like Juan, good to see you. DJ looked like that was JP stealing third, huh? Man, that's a base hit, and the Rockies are on the board. Troy Tulowitzki coming through.
Now make it 6 out of his last 7 with runners in scoring position.
Got a 12-game hitting streak, and the Rockies are down just a run. LeMahieu got it started against Latos.
Well, and then also stealing third base. DJ's doing a little bit of everything, and then Troy finishing it off with a slider down that didn't do anything. Just drops it in center field. So nice to get that run in.
Just the second run the Rockies have scored here in Miami. Cargo a strikeout and a hard comebacker. And that's gloved at second for 1. And Echeverria couldn't quite turn 2. He got a lot on that throw. Cargo got up the line in a hurry. Dan Jennings has come 3 steps out of the dugout and is waiting to hear from his video department.
He signaled to the catcher, Jeff Mathis, to kind of stall to see what happens. But D. Gordon got to that baseball. He was swung over. Pretty strong throw then to second base, and we'll see.
He beat it.
He beat it. Cargo is signaling. Yeah, he's safe. Dan will go back into the dugout.
And the Marlins have the lowest caught stealing percentage in baseball. And the reason I throw that out there, we saw the steal a third a few moments ago by DJ. Cargo is more of a selective runner than a couple of years ago, but the knee is healthy. You have Nolan at the plate, who's 4 for 5 career-wise. You're down a run. What are your thoughts here if he feels like he has an opportunity?
I like it. I like it to be aggressive.
Kind of a semi-slide step by Latos, and he misses ball 1.
Yeah, but if you put it in the mind of Latos that he might run, slide steps, and doesn't get the ball down, then that's a better pitch for Nolan to hit.
A lot of times pitchers, if they think a guy's going to steal, become fastball happy. Cargo not going, and a good swing by Arenado on a 93-mile-an-hour fastball. 2-1, the Rockies have scored. Tulo with that base hit matches his career best with a 12-game hitting streak. The other time he hit 12 in a row back in the World Series season of 2007. He did it in August of 07.
Latos is worried about Cargo.
Not going, and this ball's at a play down the right field line. It's 1-2, and I would think if he's going to go, it'll be on this pitch.
1-2's a running count. But the issue you have is Matt's pretty quick now to the plate. It's really sped up his delivery.
And they were thinking the same thing. It was a pitch out. It's 2-2.
Now there's two school of thoughts. Do you go 2-2 or you just wait to 3-2 if this next one's a ball? Sometimes if you go 2-2, you'll put the pressure on the hitter and he'll swing at a pitch that he wouldn't just because he sees you going. So why not wait to the 3-2 count if it gets that far?
Not going, and it's fouled off. Again, Tommy Runnels is the first base coach today and tomorrow. He was yesterday. Eric Young is at third. Stu Cole is where he should be with his son who's graduating high school in the Charlotte area. Pedro Estacio is working the bullpen as well because Darren Holmes with his son who's graduating high school this weekend. 2-2 pulled foul. Well, the swings against Latos have improved greatly here in the sixth inning, starting with the LeMahieu double. Tulo a solid single to center.
Well, the third time through.
Heather,
Heather, you're right.
Keep JP in the booth. We need more runs.
Hashtag good luck charm. I agree, Heather. JP, come back.
Here goes Cargo, and this ball's lined to center field, but it is right at Marcell Ozuna. So the Rockies get a run. It's now a 2-1 ball game. Middle of inning number 6 at Marlins Park in Miami. has to come out, and you figure he did something to that foot. Barnes is moved from center to left, and Charlie Blackmon comes in to play in the middle. As we go to the bottom of the 6th inning, the Rockies scored last inning. It's a 2-1 ball game. Drew Goodman, Jeff Hewson, and Mark Stout from Marlins Park. Here's Charlie getting loose.
And Corey just looked like he was walking gingerly back to the dugout after grounding out. And it has to be so frustrating for Corey. You go on the DL hoping that it would clear things up. He played for 2.5 days.
Christian Yelich takes ball 1 from David Hale, and here's the end of that at bat. It's ground ball to short.
You see it pull up?
Yep.
You're about halfway down. It's like that hamstring injury. It just feels better, and then it just kicks in.
And that's a base hit through the right side for Yelich. That's the first hit for the Marlins since Stanton's double with 1 out in the 1st inning. That's how good David Hale's been. And now Stanton's coming up.
Yelich has hit 18 out of his last 20 games with that base hit.
He's been a different player the last 3 weeks.
There are some spots that you can pitch to Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, one of those is in the outer 3rd quadrant and down, or you can go up in the zone and split it right down the middle. And the numbers in the blue are below the major league average. And that minus 243, he has not gotten a hit in that zone.
And you say, well, why is that? Well, the league hits 243 on pitches in the strike zone, knee high on the black. Giancarlo is minus 243, 243 points below the league average. So obviously he has not had a hit down and away. Up and in is a trouble spot. But it's 2-0 right now. Sometimes you nibble and you end up in that offensive count. And he goes changeup. Good decision. 2-1.
Giancarlo's came out of his shoes. He might have to retie his shoes. He swung so hard. He's geared up for that fastball and they pull the string.
This guy looks like an anatomy chart.
He is some kind of big. I mean, big, strong, can do it all, run, throw, hit.
He's got a tremendous work ethic. He's only 25. And he has slugged .726 in his career against the Rockies. Your old teammate Ken Griffey Jr. .742. Two and two on Stanton. Yelich at first. This ball is mashed. If it's fair, it's gone. 2-run home run, Stanton. And the Marlins are out in front 4-1. 23rd home run for Stanton. I mean, it's rare now, like yesterday, that a day goes by that he doesn't hit a home run.
Of Stan's last 29 hits, 15 of those hits have been home runs. It's his 45th RBI in 137 at-bats against Colorado.
And you can see, unfortunately, it was plenty fair.
He takes the lead over Bryce Harper by a couple in the Major League home run leaders.
He's driven in 8 in this series. He had 4 RBIs on Thursday. He has driven in all 4 this afternoon.
And there's separation from the wall and then where that overhang was, and then the ball went 2 or 3 rows into that.
Can I throw something out there, a conversation we had earlier in the ball game? If they do decide, and there's been some conversations internally, to move these walls in, how many home runs are you going to hit then?
Think about the one we thought earlier where he hit a double. Thinking that would have been a home run. If it's in even a foot, that's a home run.
A 1 on Osuna, that misses. 1-1. This game's starting to mirror yesterday when the Rockies got within 2-1 on the home run by Cargo and feel like they had some momentum back in their dugout. And then the 3-run home run last night by JT Realmuto. The only good thing about the home run by Stanton is it's come a little earlier on than Realmuto's. Realmuto's came in the 8th inning. Against Scott Oberg. This is the 6th inning.
Yeah, so you still have more outs, but it just seemed like you scratch and claw just to get that one run this top half of the inning.
Osuna hits it high in the air down the right field line in foul ground. It's Paulson showing some good agility. 1 out. And Justin Bour will take his turn. Right, you wonder about the length, as we discussed with Matt Latos, and you also wonder about the availability of Carter Capps. The Rockies have seen enough of Carter Capps. He's pitched in each of the last 2 ball games.
And a little quicker turnaround with the day game, afternoon game. I should say it's not a complete day game. Those are normally 1:30 games.
It's 27 pitches the last 2 days for Capps, and it's not a ridiculous amount.
They did make a move after the game last night. They recalled Steve Cishek, their closer. He was recalled. He'd been in 19 games with the Marlins before he was sent down to AA Jacksonville.
2 balls and a strike on Bour. An intentional walk and a strikeout for Bour. George Mason University product. Colonial Conference. That's what they play in baseball also.
Speaking of college, the College World Series starts today.
Yeah, really pumped
That's
up
gonna
for
be
that.
fun.
And Dougie just straightened me out. They moved to the A-10 in baseball. That's inside 3-2. A-10 is a large super conference now, right? So what did you say, Doug? 16 teams, including what?
What team? What university?
Oh man, I knew he knew this. As Tulo's going to field it and throw on the move. Nice pickup at first. Doug's alma mater, allegedly, the University of Dayton, plays in the A-10. Here's the road to Omaha. Well, they're already in Omaha, so it's no longer the road to Omaha. It's the road to hold the trophy up. Look at that, 6-1 seeds made it. Florida and Miami, LSU and TCU. Vandy and Cal State Fullerton. Cal State Fullerton's the only team west of the Mississippi. Well, TCU's west of the Mississippi. Virginia and Arkansas. I think I've seen most of those teams play at some point this year.
It's going to be kind of hard to handicap that. Who's going to win that?
4 SEC teams, a couple from the ACC, 1 from the Big 12 and 1 from the Big West. Jeff Mathis robbed by Troy his last time up, and he hits this ball in the air to left center. Barnes and Blackman, it'll be Charlie. That'll put the Marlins down in the 6th inning, but there was a base hit by Yelich and then a home run by Stanton. It's 4-1 Marlins.
College World Series. We just saw Ben Paulson, who's going to lead off. Paulson told me a funny story this week. He said that, and he went to Clemson. You should know that DJ LeMahieu made 2 recruiting trips to LSU and to Clemson. And Paulson was the host for DJ at Clemson. And he laughed. He said, well, he didn't pick Clemson. He went to LSU. So I asked DJ why. And DJ said it had nothing to do with Ben Paulson. It was a fine recruiting trip. In fact, it may have been better than what he had at LSU. But the manager there, the coach, Jack Leggett, wanted him to play left field like Scott Baker did as a freshman. And he said he kept hearing left field all weekend long on his recruiting trip, and he wanted to be a middle infielder. So he went to LSU. Obviously, he picked the right school. He's got a College World Series under his belt. But it's just a little funny story with Paulson, who's at the plate, who went to Clemson, and DJ.
Well, it's kind of nice when you're having to make a decision, Huey, between Clemson and LSU. Where
do I want to go?
They both want you badly. 2 strikes on Paulson.
Good for DJ, sticking to his gun, saying, I want to play the middle. I want to be an infielder. Yeah, you might stick me in left field, and the next year I can play second. No, I want to play second base, shortstop. That's what I want to do.
Well, I think Mark meant Jeff Baker, not Scott. But when you look at DJ and how he plays second base, I don't think anybody would fess up to that now. I didn't want to move him. I always felt he would be a great middle infielder.
Yeah. He was a great middle guy.
DJ batting leadoff today. His final year at LSU, he predominantly hit leadoff as LSU captured a national championship. That is 10 strikeouts for Matt Latos. It's the 10th time in his career he has struck out 10 or more in a game.
His career high is 13. Brooks Brown, who was up last night, did not get into the game. Was up today.
1-0 to McHenry, who's walked twice. 2-0 on Matt. McHenry wasn't originally a catcher. McHenry was a third baseman primarily. Played some second base also. Got converted at Middle Tennessee State after his first year. That may have been a tad high. 2-1. This ball is hit well to center field, really well. So well, it's going to go off the top of the wall. McHenry around second. He's hunting another triple. He's going to have one. He didn't have any career triples until about a week and a half ago. Now he's got 2. And again, we come back to the defenses being moved in. That's out of every ballpark in America.
And to the opposite field. And the other thing is how high the fence is here. I mean, it's not your standard fence. It goes up a good 15, 18 feet. Osuna jumps. Getting within a glove length of reaching that. Kicks off the pad. Mac strolls into third.
And this is not going to get the job done. Barnes is trying to get it in play in the middle, but it went to a corner infielder. McHenry came a couple steps down the line and had to stop. So now it's going to take a 2-out hit.
Get a pinch hitter, Raphael, and Noah. But Justin Bohr bobbled that because of Michael coming down the line. He took his eye off the baseball thinking he was going to go. But if he would have, where Bohr was, right at the bag, that's an easy play at home. Everything's in front of you.
Again, you think of that about that Stanton home run. If Noah comes through here, it would have been play woulda, coulda, woulda, shoulda all day in sports, and they'll drive you nuts. But not for the Stanton home run. It's a 1-run game, and the Rockies are 90 feet from tying it up. Raphael Noah has been really good off the bench. Rockies now need a 2-out hit. Starting to run out of outs. They're in the 7th. '98 pitch from Latos. Dan Jennings, Chuck Hernandez, the longtime pitching coach, they have to be not only thrilled with the result, but thrilled with how fresh and polished Latos looks. Close to 100 pitches coming off the disabled list.
He's just hoping he can squeeze one more batter out of him. Michael Dunn is up in the bullpen. They'll also get Steve Cishek going. Latos' spot in the lineup's due up second in the 7th.
One and two, and now Rafi will have to go into battle mode.
Foul ball just got the manager Jennings in the back, down in the dugout.
One, two. Boy, that was nasty. Matt Latos jogging off the mound. That was maybe his best curveball of the afternoon. McHenry left at third. It's 4-1 Miami. All four, 2-run double, 2-run home run. As we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, the day after every Rockies victory, get 50% off your online order at Papa John's. The promo code is ROCKSWIN at papajohns.com. In the 7th inning, the Rockies now have Brooks Brown out there. He'll face Adeiny Echeverria, a pinch hitter, I'm sure, for Latos. And then D. Gordon. There's our friend.
And you might have to order an extra pizza just for your friend.
Or 2 or 3 extra pizzas. 23rd appearance for Brooks Brown. And both lefties and righties hitting in the mid-220s against Brown. Georgia star.
Scoreless 8 out of the last 10 ball games since coming off the DL. Last appeared in the St. Louis series back on the 10th of June.
Echeverria is 0 for 2, and he's about to be 0 for 3. Barnes flying in, and Brandon will get there. That gives you an idea just how vast the outfield is. Doug tried to look it up earlier. We were having a discussion during a commercial break on the square footage of the outfield. Number 1 in baseball is Coors Field, and I think most people understand that. And all 27 out of the 30 teams, the square footage is available, but evidently they've never shot this with the dome open,
Roof open.
with the roof open, so they don't know what the square footage is. Because and the same thing with Rogers Center and the Trop. The Trop, they can't open the roof. But I'm guessing, as Ichiro is going to pinch hit here, I'm guessing this is the second largest outfield by square footage in baseball.
Would not disagree at all. And when it goes out to 418 at center field, it tells you. Well, Ichiro up to the plate.
This is kind of his role now. He's primary pinch hitter for the Marlins.
6 for 25 pinch hitting. Third time in this series he's pinch hit. He's 1 for 2 in the first 2 games.
He had a triple on Sunday in that 7-2 loss for the Marlins up at Rogers Center, speaking of domes, against Toronto. That's outside. What an extraordinary athlete Ichiro has been and still is.
And all the media attention that he's had to deal with, not only in Japan, but coming over here each and every day, the media that follows him.
Well, every one of his games, I don't know if this is still the case, but every one of his games until recently was being back to Japan. I mean, a full-on television production sent back to Japan.
Well, Spilly and I and Spilly, we were talking about it, just how he's a rock star over there in Japan.
Said Ichiro is number 1, and it's not close. I mean, he dealt with all of that attention so well. It never affected him on the field, clearly. The other thing, Jeff, and you've broken this down before, because it looks, he's got that, Far Eastern approach, for lack of a better term. It looks like he bailed, but the bat stays in the zone because he's like Gumby.
Yeah, he's not running out of the box. His momentum might come forward, but his hands stay back and he'll stay in the zone forever. You can schedule a group outing at Coors Field. Get discounts and scoreboard recognition when you bring your group of 25 or more. Get your group on. Speaking from experience, they do a great job with that. When you bring a large group, they really Ticket Office works with you as well as anybody.
Now, Ichiro has a sizable lead, and if you're wondering, at 41, almost 42, does he still run? You bet he does. He's got 4 stolen bases. He takes off first pitch, and he's got number 5, and he's going to hop up and move to third. Throwing error on McHenry. Ichiro could still impact the game in a variety of ways.
A stolen base and then the third error from Michael. Big jump, more like a hit and run. He gave a peek over his left shoulder. D. Gordon swings. And that ball tailed big time. That's 492 career steals for Ichiro.
Number 1 of active players. Rockies have to bring the infield in. Outside on Gordon.
And it's just the little things. The little things and not playing clean baseball. You allow the runner to get to third base. You have to change how you pitch to D. Gordon. You bring the infield in and you put more pressure on your team.
You have the hits leader in baseball at the plate in Gordon with 89. Our guest a little while ago, Juan Pierre, has the Marlins club record. He had 221 hits one year. Similar kind of player. Ichiro chatting up Arenado.
Mark's going to have a piece about him on tomorrow's pregame show. Not want to miss that.
2-2. Brown can get a punch out of Gordon. That'd be huge here. You got Prado on deck, so it's no picnic right now at the top of that Marlins lineup. It's already a 3-run deficit for the Rockies. Bottom of the 7th inning. Didn't get him to chase up high. It's 3-2.
Miami 1 for 4 with runners in scoring position. I think you have to pitch Gordon in. If you pitch him away, he'll hit it to left field. That's where they tried to come in.
I think smaller guys, the thought has always been, Jeff, knock the bat out of their hand.
Well, if you pitch him away, he's the second best batting average in the major leagues at .383 on pitches outside. Only Jacoby Ellsbury has a higher one.
They come in and he pulls it just foul.
I think back to that game in Philadelphia when Ben Revere, same type of hitter as D. Gordon, and he threw him a changeup to strike him out, got him to wave at it.
Got him with the changeup right there. Great call, Huey. And D. Gordon's bat flew out of his hand. 2 outs. The infield can back up. And now Brown will set his sights on Martin Prado. You called it.
Well, and what a pitch from Brooks Brown. They come inside with 2 fastballs. Hitters thinking, oh boy, if they come in there again, I got to make sure I speed up my bat. So that allows you to throw the changeup, and he threw it down and got the strikeout.
Brown now facing Prado, who's 0 for 2 and a walk. Ichiro at third. Single, stolen base, throwing error, got him there. Slider on the corner. Yeah, looking at Ichiro, Huey, and we put up his numbers in Japan the other night, and his numbers in the big leagues. And you think, all right, what if he arrived at 20 or 21? This ball sharply hit at Tulo. He's got the tough part of it done, and now the throw across to get Prado, and Ichiro's left at third. You're talking about a guy who probably steals 800-900 bases along with 3,500 hits. Crazy. Delivery of the game provided today by Matt Latos, coming off the disabled list with a knee injury. You can tell in the first inning that he had his A material. He had a good lively fastball and a very good curveball this afternoon. He struck out 11. 10th time in his career he was hit double digits in strikeouts. And he allowed the Rockies just 4 hits, allowed 1 run in 7 innings, walked 2. Sam Dyson comes on for the 29th time, one of the setup guys for the Marlins. This kid throws really, really hard, 96 to 100.
And then mix in a curveball and also a changeup. But you'll see fastball, curveball. But Dyson last year finished with a 2.14 ERA. That was good for 3rd best among NL rookie relievers.
DJ had a double and scored in the 6th inning, and he takes a fastball at 96 for strike 1.
This is what Nolan was talking to us yesterday before the game about, is you got to get to the starters because their bullpen, their back end of their bullpen is impressive. They all throw hard.
And it's lined to right, but it's hit too hard, and Stanton comes on and makes a catch. About the only way you get DJ out these days. So line out, right at somebody. 1 out, and that'll bring up Charlie Blackmon for the first time. Blackmon had to step into the ball game 2 innings ago when Corey Dickerson, running out a ground out to short, had to pull up and evidently hurt his foot again. We haven't had official word, but it seemed pretty clear that that plantar fascia flared up. Blue Jays playing really good baseball, 10 in a row. Blackmon with 1 out in front of Tulowitzki. Rockies down 3. They've scored 2 runs in this series. Home run by Cargo. And in the 6th inning, the Tulowitzki single to bring home LeMahieu, who had doubled and stolen 3rd.
The few other times that they've had chances to add runs, they haven't done it. In the last half inning, they had a runner at 3rd and 1 out. Weren't able to get him in.
And there's a base hit for Charlie. Brought his hands in on a 97-mile-an-hour fastball, so he's aboard for Tulowitzki. Troy with the base hit in the 6th inning, now with a 12-game hitting streak, which matches the longest of his career, set back in 2007. Cargo on deck. If Troy could reach, Cargo would represent the tying run.
And again, Mike Dunn in the bullpen for the Marlins. There was a big curveball.
Yeah, Tulo got fooled on that. And it's 0-1.
Go from throwing 98 miles an hour to 81.
You can see he doesn't throw much but the heater. If you throw that hard, again, that conversation we were having with Preston Wilson today, you and I said it on the air last night. If you're throwing 99 and you're hopping a foot past the rubber,
why mess with it?
Why throw anything else? I mean, you're only out there for 3 outs typically. And Preston Wilson's like, exactly. He goes, every time he spins it, you say thank you.
And who did he spin it to last night? Ben Paulson.
Paulson, and he roped a double. How many times were you at the plate against a real firm guy who threw a slider and you were like, there goes the runner, and Charlie's going to have his 14th stolen base?
No, but I know what you're saying. He throws you something and he says thank you, because I couldn't hit the other one.
14 bags for Blackmon. The rest of the Rockies have 14 also. In fact, DJ, when he stole 3rd, became the first player this year for the Rockies to steal 3rd other than Charlie Blackmon.
Well, between those two, they have 20 of the 28 stolen bases.
Another curveball. 1-2.
Yeah, we'll throw that up on this 4-strike zone, and yeah, it's going to be in the same spot, just down probably the width of a baseball. Both of them were strikes, and called as such by Paul Schreiber.
Two and two. That's an unhittable spot. Troy thought it was outside, and it may have been a smidgen. I mean, what can you do with that pitch at 98 miles an hour?
I hope they call it a ball.
That's about it, right?
Yeah, after the two, I call them curveballs. They might come up as sliders. I just think because of the speed differentiation between the fastball and the slider, that's why I call it a curveball. When he throws them inside and gets you to back up and then paints away. I'll go to the left-on-left matchup.
Now it's kind of a page out of Bruce Bochy's book. He's going to match up late innings, even with a 3-run lead. Dan Jennings wants Dunn to face Cargo. 4-1 Miami. And Cargo getting ready to face Mike Dunn. Who wants tacos? Fans follow @RootSports_RM on Twitter to receive alerts for the Rockies taco special when the Rockies score 7 or more in a ball game. Mike Dunn was in the game last night. To get one hitter was Corey Dickerson, and he struck him out on a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Dunn's been around a while. He's having a very good season. Forget the ERA. I don't think you pay attention to that with relievers. Inherited runners, all 10 have been stranded by Mike Dunn.
He also hasn't allowed a run in his last 7 relief appearances spanning 4 1/3 innings.
And his primary job, obviously, is to get left-handed hitters. As you saw in the graphic, they're hitting all of 184. Cargo 0 for 3. Strikeout, hard comebacker, and he hit a ball in the hole that D. Gordon made a nice play on to get a force out. Cargo last night hit maybe the most impressive home run he's hit all year, and he's hit some impressive ones. Not as many as we normally see. That's hopefully coming in the second half, but this one went opposite field here at Marlins Park, which is extremely hard to do.
and the only opposite field home run he's had this year. The other ones have been either to center or to right center.
Here's the 1-0.
There's a spray chart of the home runs from Cargo. We've seen a couple at Coors Field that have been lasers. That one last night was the most impressive of the bunch. And now he took it out at this ballpark over a higher fence into the Clevelander.
1 ball, 1 strike. Blackman at second. Mike Dunn is out of Farmington, New Mexico, which is a great baseball town. Farmington in the Four Corners area, not far from Durango. Hosts the Connie Mack World Series every year. Mike was a very gifted outfielder pitcher growing up in Farmington. The Yankees drafted him as an outfielder. His first 2 years in pro ball, he swung the bat, but his average after 2 years in the minor leagues was 160. So they moved him to the mound, which at first he was not real pleased about. But he has the ability to do that, and that puts down the 8th inning. The Rockies trail 4-1. I think this guy was the game changer on Thursday night when he drove in 4 out of 3-run home run in the first inning. Well, this is a double to drive in 2. Mike, or Giancarlo now, thought he got all of that to hit it out. That one was off the top of the wall. This one, the only question was whether it would be fair or not. It was by about 10, 15 feet. So he has a 2-run double and a 2-run home run. He's driven in all 4 this afternoon for the Marlins. He leads all of baseball with 23 home runs and 59 RBIs. LaTroy Hawkins on for the 9th time this year, the 2nd time since coming off the disabled list just a couple of days ago. He appeared in the ball game on Thursday.
In that game, he threw an inning, couple hits, but left both of those runners stranded. Ended up getting out of the inning by retiring the last 3.
Going to get an out here on Yelich. Good play by Troy. And here comes Stanton with 1 out. See, LaTroy without the mustache. John Axford They pleaded with him. He had a beard for a while. He pleaded with him. He said, "You got to keep it on." And so they worked out a deal. He would keep it for 2 days once he came back. He did that, and then he shaved it off. Gone. He said, "I've never had one before."
That's it. I'm not going to leave my bullpen mates hanging, but I've had enough.
Up and in, ball one on Stanton. Stanton, the 2-run double, a walk in the third, and then the 2-run home run in the 6th inning. Stanton has 23 of the 52 home runs for the Marlins this year, and he has more than 25% of their RBIs. Now think about that.
He's kind of saying, "Here, jump on my back, guys. I'll try to carry us."
And not only that, it's not as if the opposition goes into a ball game and says, "Well, who's this guy?" Or your whole game plan is there's one guy who can't beat you. If anybody else beats you, okay, you tip your cap. But that guy can't beat you. But he still finds a way to beat everybody. And doing that despite hitting in the 250s right now.
And that just tells you what kind of player he is, when everybody knows what he can do and he still gets it done. Well, fans, you can vote now for your Rockies All-Stars on your computer, tablet, or smartphone on the 2015 Esurance MLB All-Star Game ballot exclusively at Rockies.com.
Well, Marcell Ozuna is 0 for 3. He has a 13-game hitting streak on the line. It's going to die here unless hopefully we go extras with the Rockies down by 3 runs. That's a 6-pitch inning for Hawkins. We'll go to the 9th inning. The Rockies have work to do. They're down 4-1 to the Marlins. Book your low fare now at Southwest.com. And by Mike Shaw Subaru, always our lowest price in sales and service guaranteed. Offense has been a large problem for the Rockies since they got to South Florida. They have all of 2 runs. In fact, they have all of 4 runs going back a couple more games. So 4 runs in 4 games, not going to get it done if we check in with Jenny in Denver. Jenny, Ryan, thank you very much. The Rockies will try to get after A.J. Ramos here in the top of the 9th. Nolan Arenado, who's 1 for 3, will be first. Then Ben Paulson and Mike McHenry. Ramos took over closing duties when Steve Cishek, who just returned today, faltered. He's 7 out of 10. But I'm not so sure if those 3 blown saves may have come in a setup role.
They did.
He has 38 strikeouts against just 8 walks. That is very impressive.
38 punch-outs. That ranks 2nd among National League relievers and 5th in all of baseball.
Now, Ramos, originally a 21st round pick in 2009 out of Texas Tech. And he gets a swinging strike on a 95-mile-an-hour fastball.
So
people backed away from Ramos, Huey, after his junior year because he had Tommy John surgery as a Red Raider, came back for his senior season.
Oh, it didn't hurt. The guy that was just drafted this year had Tommy John surgery, still drafted in the first round. Guy that was drafted by Houston last year, and also in the first round, Brady Aiken.
Slider at the knees for a strike. Well, he was always highly motivated because he had that label, well, your 21st round pick, not a lot of money wrapped up in him at all. So he thrived on the pressure trying to get here, and he gets a strikeout of Arenado. The Rockies in tonight's game, or today's game, have struck out 14 times. As we look at our CenturyLink link to what's next, the matchup Sunday. Jorge De La Rosa at 3-2 will go for the Rockies. The veteran Dan Herron with a split finger doesn't throw nearly as hard, but he's having a really good season here in Miami. 6-2. League hitting just .226 against Herron.
Herron has the second lowest velocity average speed in the major leagues. Only Mark Burley is less.
He's had to reinvent himself.
He averages 86 miles an hour on his fastball.
He used to throw very hard. 1-1.
It's an exploding fastball from Ramos.
I'm looking up there on the scoreboard, Huey, and the Rockies with just 5 hits and 1 run. So again, it's a tough day at the offense offensively, but the Marlins have only 4 hits.
One big fly and then the double by Stanton. The big guy came through with 4 RBIs.
Joining his paycheck, if that's possible.
It'd be tough, but
1-2 on Paulson, 2-2.
Just think about the guys that they've brought out of their pen. Sam Dyson is 97 to a 98 on his fastball. Mike Dunn 96 to 97. Now AJ Ramos.
Changeup, and he strikes out Paulson. 2 gone. 15 strikeouts for the Rockies this afternoon. Yesterday, in scoring just 1 run, they struck out only 5 times. The ball was in play a whole lot more yesterday, but the results were very similar. Struck out 8 times in the 6-0 defeat Thursday. That's on the inside corner, a strike on Mike McHenry. Mike has been on all 3 times today. A walk, and a triple.
The Rockies had only had 1 walk coming into this game in this series, and then Mike doubles that with 2. I mean, just 3 walks for the team.
And now the Rockies down to their last strike. Two on McHenry. It's a disturbing trend, you know, with the lack of walks. It's the 19th time the Rockies have punched out at least 10 times in a game, Jeff, this year. This is game number 61. The 3rd of the time, basically.
It's not going to help your on-base percentage.
And the Rockies have one of the lowest on-base percentages in baseball. Changeup's low, 3-2. Ramos out of Lubbock, Texas. Heading home to go to Texas Tech. Three and two on McHenry. And it's in the air to center field. Asuna waiting, and he's got it. And the Rockies have lost the first three here in South Florida. The final score, the Marlins 4 and Colorado 1. The Rockies with just 2 runs in this series. Matt Latos in his return from the DL gets the victory. He's 2-4. David Hale takes his first loss in a Rockies.